Hello, thanks for allowing me a few minutes to say hello and to share a goodbye. This is where it all began for me 27 years ago, and such great opportunities afforded a young firefighter who then later became an assistant chief. And here in a few minutes we'll share just a few brief photos with you and some recollections on my part. I'm sorry we couldn't be together and have a party. But hopefully this will serve and allow you to see that I love and appreciate all of you, and for me to say goodbye and thank you. Well, thanks for being with me. Thanks for spending a few minutes just to let me share some memories and some thoughts and a few pictures, and hopefully it'll be nostalgic for all of us. So thank you. First, I thought I'd just show you my recruit graduation class. Great faces, great personnel. I owe a lot of who I am to that first few personnel that I was with. Love each and every one of them. They're great guys. We had a fun academy, and thank you, all of you. It was great memories. First photo here I thought I'd show is right here, Station 117. This is where it all began for me. That's my wife Christy and our son Brandon, who's now 29. And so there we are in front of the station when the lawn actually looked nice and green. Another great photo I thought I'd share is paramedic school. This is our paramedic school graduation. Jeff Haney, he's since passed away of cancer, a dear friend. He was also a neighbor. He and I would carpool to paramedic school together, and great memories of him and of all of the group, and loved my time serving as a paramedic. There'd be those that would joke I really didn't serve very long as a paramedic, and well, of course they'd be right. With that, one of my first paramedic partners was Sherm Taylor. We entered into a contract with South Jordan Fire. This would have been in the probably mid-90s, mid to late 90s, and Sherm Taylor and I were the very first two paramedics that served on one of their engines. They provided the captain and the engineer, and we provided the paramedics, and so it was one of the first paramedic engines within South Jordan. Great time. He was fun, a lot of fun to be with. Some of you know I served as a public information officer back before we had great information officers of today. But there I am. I can't even remember the reporter's name, but he was out of Channel 4. And so yeah, I spent 4 years as PIO, and wonderful time in my career. I really enjoyed that experience. It was my first time serving and really getting into the depth and breadth of command staff and seeing the inner workings of the fire department, which is some advice I'd give to anyone. I love operations, but any chance that anyone might get to get a feel in some sort of administrative capacity, take that chance. And then of course, you know, time in the fire service wouldn't be anything without really recognizing all of the fun personnel you get to be with. This was my first formal station crew. Jay Fernley, paramedic, Travis Hamburg, paramedic, and I was the station captain. It was then Station 95, which is of course 120 today. And back then, we ran all of Riverton, Bluffdale, and Harriman as the only ALS unit. And with that said, we probably still only averaged about 5-6 calls a day, and but it was a lot of fun. Great crew, great memory. One of my first big fire came out of there, an attic fire of all things, middle of winter on a metal roof. Tough access, and the nearest hydrant was probably about a quarter mile away, but a lot of fun. And then of course those are formal times, you know, when you're you know, somber times, if you will. This year we assisted on a funeral service for John Seitzma's wife. John was our photographer for a lot of years, a volunteer photographer. Did a lot of great service for us, and this was an opportunity for us to serve him back. Chief Barry was a part of that, and we really enjoyed John's service. Great memories of him. And in fact, speaking of John, there's his son Mark, or excuse me, grandson Mark. The fire service, Salt Lake County and Unified Fire, we got Camp Christophilus, Parties Canyon, not Parties, Immigration Canyon, and we would serve there every year, and this is one of our photo opportunities, the crew that was there. So, and then of course a somber moment for all of us. It was my great privilege to serve to serve back at 9/11. I wasn't a part of Utah Task Force 1, but I was privileged to go and help assist the media in connecting with the team and telling their stories. And so I've kept this in my office ever since, my badge that allowed me into Ground Zero. Great memory there, and fortunate to be a part of that, part of the Olympics, but really to be a part of the day in and day out. You know, this is where it all began for me. It's great memories. I have a lot of folks to thank. From my first captain, Captain Gary Newbold out of here, Paul Kay, Paris Napoli, the two paramedics out of here, and then of course Paul Hare, who is the engineer, Chatty Cathy doll. Love you, Paul. Anyway, it was that foundation, the foundation of my peers and recruit camp, that really helped me launch my career. Great advice I've been given from George Painter, who said, you know, explore all options within the fire service. Great people to thank, great memories. I can't help but reflect for a few moments. My dad, for those that don't know, I grew up in the fire service. My dad retired as a captain out of Eugene, Oregon. And as I was getting ready to take my first captain's exam, I flubbed it. You know, I flubbed some of the practice drills he was giving me. And one of the things he said to me really resonated. He said, Jay, remember, you didn't create the situation. These calls that you'll go on, you didn't make them happen. You're just there to help make them better. And most anything you do will. And I've carried that with me, not just in emergency response, but also in administrative capacities as well. And I think it's important for us to remember that we're here to help make lives better for each other and for the community. So I'll just leave that with everybody with my great thanks for a lot of great years. I wish you all, and Godspeed. It has been a pleasure serving with you. Thank you. And to those who mean the most, my family. I thank my wife, Christy, all my children for the support, all of the times testing, whether in paramedic school or for any of the officer promotional positions. Of course, those long nights where I'd come home tired. Thank you. Love you, and I appreciate all the support over the years.